So today we're going to be making a Phase 2 clone helmet out of foam. So I found some of these, which are Pepakura files online. So Pepakura is basically a little program that a lot of people sort of model stuff in and figure out how to make papercraft models out. So as you can see on the left here, we've got a full model of a Phase 2 clone trooper helmet. And on the right we've got these, which are different A4 pieces of paper, and each segment is a part of the helmet that you cut out and stick together. So I'm going to put a link down in the description below of where I got this file. It's on an RPF forum, and the person that posted it has also made their own full body set of animated clone armor out of foam, and they've made their own templates and they put that up for free as well, so I'll put that up there so you guys can see. So we've got all the parts printed out on bits of paper. You can just see it's very, very faint. Now Pepakura is meant to be built in a certain way, so you fold the paper in a specific manner depending on if it's got like a dotted line or if it's got a line with dashes in it. So we're going to have to kind of retrofit it to make it into a foam template, because this isn't made for foam. But hopefully it won't be too tricky. So we're just going to go through it in the order that it has on here, because you kind of need the file open so you can see what bits that you're actually looking at and what bits need to be assembled. So for the most part we are going to use 5mm foam because it's easier to work with and bend than 10mm foam is. So my contact adhesive has gone a little bit gloopy, so I'm just using a hot glue gun. So if you're going to use hot glue for this, just use really small amounts, because you do get the small amount that will seep through the gaps. So obviously the less that's there, the less cleanup you have to do. Again, just you kind of have to tweak this as you go, because like I said, it's not made for foam, it's made for Pepakura. So when I cut it out, all the tabs are being left on the piece of paper. Can you see? You can just see there's like one of the paper tabs, so I've just cut out the main actual shape of what we're going for and leaving these edges, because you don't need them, they're just the tabs if you do the papercraft version. So you don't have to have foam, you can just make this out of paper just using your printer paper. So like around the side you've got like the sort of little indent that's like the grey strip around the back, so obviously that is built as sort of the way you fold it when it comes to the papercraft one. But with the foam one I just stuck the foam behind this front section, and for this top bit I'm just gluing it along the top edge, just right at the very edge, so you've still got like this bit of overlap, but the rest of it shouldn't be too bad. So obviously we're just doing the top of the head at the moment. This is actually a fairly small fit on me, so this is a display piece, not a piece for wearing. If I was going to get one for wearing I would get a proper resin kit, but no, I've not built a full clone helmet out of foam before, so. Alright, so after a few tweaks, this is what we've got. We've got our full clone, just added a couple of little details like the earpiece and the mohawk. But it's not too bad. Again, it's a bit tricky because working with the Pepakura file, obviously it's not made of foam, so you got to tweak it as you go. So it's definitely not perfect, especially these bits at the front here, so I'm going to have to try and sand it and try and even it out as much as possible. Oh, I've just realised I haven't added any teeth. Right, I'll add the teeth. And then what we got to do is we got to sand the edges down. I've already sort of done a little bit on some of them because I had some hot glue spillage. So we got to make sure all the seams are nice and smooth. If there's any large gaps, we're going to fill them with some flexible cork. And then make sure everything's all heat sealed with the heat gun. We've got some lines that we've cut in on the side here. We just need to open up the heat gun as well. And then we will cover it in a load of plasti dip. And then hopefully it'll be ready to paint. Alright, so here's what we've got with our foam clone helmet. As you can see, there's still a fair few imperfections on there, but this is the first time that I've made a full helmet out of foam. So it's not too bad. Again, it's going to be a thing of practice makes perfect. So a lot of this we will try and hide with weathering, so we're chalking all this up to experience. Not everything you make has to be perfect. A few more layers of plasti dip will probably even it out a bit more. Alright, so the next step is to start painting this. So we got the base paint colour, which is going to be white. Now, I've got some white primer hanging around here, so hopefully it'll look nice going on there. So we've gone over it in lots of paint and filler and stuff, and it is still pretty rough. I'm not a very good foam smith. but we will push on. So, I know that these helmets appeared in the episode of Clone Wars and were later discovered by Vader in the snow, so these aren't going to have a huge amount of weathering, but let's change up the canon. Let's say these were in an old jungle somewhere, and it was broken up and dirty. So what we're going to do now is start forming some cracks and stuff on the helmet. Just a few little battle scars. I'm going to be doing that with the soldering iron. And then we're going to do the basic Ahsoka 332nd paint job on the front. And then we're going to do the additional weathering on the top using paints and probably some like scenic modelling soil kind of stuff. Just make it look like it's an old relic from the Clone Wars. Because you guys know I'm Imperial, so you know, it could have been something that my Stormtrooper found on a patrol one day, who knows. So, not a perfect build, we're just going to have a whole lot of fun with this and just paint it up and see what it looks like. There we go, so there's the base of our helmet. I did a little spray of red before I went on the orange, because the orange I have here is a metallic one, so it's a little bit lighter. So the red just kind of gives it a nice sort of darker patches, makes it look a little bit more uneven, gives it a little bit more depth. Use the usual liquid latex technique to mask off certain areas and peel the latex off, so we've got all these big scratches, and added the hand painted details at the front, down here and on the teeth. So now it's time for weathering, so we're going to use our typical method, which is watered down acrylics. So I've got some black, I've got some brown, and I've also got a really nice dark green too. So we're going to give it a couple of like really watered down sort of washes to get in sort of the cracks, then we're going to go probably do some heavier bits in certain areas. With weathering, you don't have to be perfect. Like I said, we're going to try and make this look like it got lost in a jungle or something somewhere, just to kind of compensate for the slight mess that it is. Give it a little cool bit of backstory. And there you go, that's our finished 332nd Phase 2 Clone Trooper helmet. So we've just got, I just painted a bit of acetate, which is thin plastic sheeting, and just stuck it in the front there. Added a little bit of sort of the scenic soil on there and some scratches. I didn't want to go too heavy on it because I didn't want to sort of ruin the nice solid black of the actual visor. And this is not a helmet I can put on unless I cut down the actual neck. So I mean, I can probably wedge it on, but I might actually get stuck. So at the moment, it's just a really nice hat. If you just cut more out of the bottom, you'll be able to stick it on. So as I said, the first time I've tried building a helmet like this out of foam, so it is quite rough around the edges, but it just goes to show what you can do, especially with a half decent paint job. You can hide a lot of imperfections, and you don't have to be perfect when you're making stuff. All of this is practice. It's just an extra little skill point in your skill tree. So I might try and make another one of these helmets further along down the line. If I do get a proper Phase 2 clone helmet, I'm gonna probably get a resin kit, because I just want a really nice clean one, and I prefer movie over animated. I know for a lot of people that's like a bad point, but that's just what I like, and this is obviously the more animated version. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you make one of these or anything like this using any one of my video tutorials actually, please do send me a picture. Easiest way to do that is probably on either Twitter or Instagram. Links to all my social media down in the description below. And a big thank you has got to go out to my supporters on Patreon, especially to Jeff Kenny. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, the links are always at the end of the video and again down in the description below. You don't have to, it just helps me with the cost of some of the bigger builds. But if you want, just subscribe, like the video, share it with friends, that all helps too. So take care guys, I'll see you in the next video, and as always, may the Force be with you.